Is the series over?
No. And I get you can go back and the percentages and the numbers. And the reason I don't believe it's over is twofold. The biggest bats in the Dodgers lineup, Turner and Machado get a lot of credit, but the left-handed bats haven't been starting. Against Sale, against Price, you got Max Muncy, you got Cody Bellinger, you got Jock Pederson, you got Yasmani Grandal. They're all on the bench.
Those are the best hitters.
Those are 109 home runs combined between those four guys. The top 4 home run hitters on the team. So you go back home, you're against Rick Porcello, the righty. You're now going to see the best bats that give that offense length, the length they need. Plus, 3 games in a row is huge when you're talking bullpen to bullpen. I feel like the Dodgers fare much better with the guys that they have when you're going back to back to back. No days rest. And guess what? Nathan Eovaldi, you're starting one of those games. So you don't have that piece coming out of the bullpen. Same with Rick Porcello. Those are the guys that they've needed to be in the bullpen. Well, guess what? They're starting the games now. The Dodgers have that advantage when you talk about 3 games in a row.
They do have the advantage, and I understand that. But in my opinion, it's over. Sorry to disagree with you. It's just over to me because I think that a team like the Boston Red Sox, once they get the momentum, they're like sharks in blood-infested waters. They're going to close you out. If they were relying on big hits, if like a la the Yankees with 267 homers this year, that would be totally different. I'm like, that's not going to happen. You're not going to sustain that. Good pitching will find a way to overcome that. But the way that they score runs, Madsen couldn't find the plate last night once he came out. I don't know if it was because of cold weather initially. I think like the first 9, I counted like the first 9 pitches he threw a balls for crying out loud. Something along those lines. I look at him, and obviously inclement weather may have played a factor because it's going to be warmer in L.A. I always bring up the weather because, damn it, cold weather affects human beings. I don't care what anybody says. But I will tell you, because it's a single here, it's running the bases, it's their activity, the aggression that you alluded to and how they won, how they approached game 1. I think that Boston is able to take that to Los Angeles. I don't think Bellinger and those boys come off the bench and suddenly, because you didn't see them in games 1 and 2 that much, the bottom line is they're going to show up in games 3, 4, and 5. I don't see it that way. I see Boston winning this thing.
I do think game 3, though, is huge in many ways, but they're coming back to L.A. You got the warm weather, you got all of that coming back home, and then you got Walker Buehler has the ball, okay? And he's their ace. So normally your ace goes game 1. Clayton Kershaw is not the ace of the Dodgers. This might shock a lot of people that haven't been paying attention to the Dodgers this year. Walker Buehler is the best pitcher on this staff.
Before
you two go,
Ryu's the second best. Kershaw's not one of the best 2 pitchers on the staff.
Before you two go, I'll just end it with a quick question. Y'all think the Boston Red Sox, who won 108 games this year,
well, you're making my point.
4 games in the next 5?
No, I don't think the Dodgers are going to win the World Series.
Got it.
I don't think that it's throwing the white flag.
I wasn't saying they go get swept.
I think they win a game.
I think the Dodgers can. I think the Dodgers can win the World Series. Obviously, it's highly unlikely because you got to beat a 108-win team 4 out of 5 games, and the Dodgers won 92 games. So really, you're talking about they only had 85% of the Red Sox wins in the regular season. Think about that. The Red Sox were so great, historically great this year, that it's as though if the Red Sox would have won 100, Dodgers are 85 wins. Only 85% is good. Yeah. And now you got to win 4 out of 5. Here's the good news. Baseball is largely luck dependent, as is football. The best team does not always win. The worst team in the league can beat the best team in the league, and the Dodgers are far from that. The old adage is, it's not a series until the home team loses. That hasn't happened yet. The home team has won. The Dodgers must hold serve. I remember in '96, I'll always make this about the Yankees, Yanks lost the first 2 games of the World Series at home to the Braves, who had crushed everything in their path.
But it was the Braves.
But the Braves were still considered amazing
until
and
the World
crushed
Series.
Everything in their path on the way to the World Series. Yeah. Yanks down 0-2, going to Atlanta, they wind up winning the series. Your point about Kershaw is really, to me, the biggest point. And it gives me no pleasure to get on Kershaw like this. The Dodgers were not going to win a World Series in the Clayton Kershaw era because he's an historic choker, given how great he is normally. It's no longer the Clayton Kershaw era. He's not the best pitcher on the staff. He's not the ace of the staff. They didn't need, going into the series, to rely on him to take the ball 2 or 3 times in a best-of-7 and be lights out. They have at least 2 starting pitchers better. They have the better bullpen, at least on paper, though Jansen's not what he once was. The Dodgers have to just think about that's true. Just think about how we'll all be feeling about the series if the Dodgers simply win a game at home. Next game, they just win a game at home. All of a sudden, it's 2-1. You say, the question next, tomorrow will be: is the pressure on the Red Sox? Do the Red Sox need to win, or it's all knotted up?
You're right. If they win game 3 and 4, but not for game 3. If they win game 3, is the pressure on the Red Sox really? Stop. Go ahead.
Well, I honestly believe Game 3 is in Dodgers' hands. I feel like that Game 4 will tell you everything. Because if they match it up 2-2, then I feel like the more pressure goes back. That's how these series work. That's what you love about it. But the Boston Red Sox they're a more complete team. They're a better team. I just want to see LA in LA. I want to see them when they are at home. And there is something to be said about that, especially when how these games have been lost. And the Dodgers have shown up. The Red Sox have just outplayed them.
My last memory of the Dodgers in LA was sitting in the stands for Game 7. You understand? when Yu Darvish showed up on the hill and wet the bed. I know he's not there.
That
Thank
game goes
God.
so much differently if Yu Darvish doesn't start that
That's
game.
the last time. You brought up that you want to see him in LA.
At the stands in that game.
That's right. That's right. That's my last memory of the Dodgers in LA.